Welcome, Franklin County residents, and thank you for tuning in to the candidate forum for Franklin County Magistrate District 6 primary election held on May 19th, 2026. I'm J.C. Young, and I'm honored to serve on the Chamber Government Affairs Committee and your host for this event. The office of County Magistrate is difficult to define. The men and women who serve in these roles wear a plethora of hats. They are expected to be economists, meteorologists, architects, attorneys, agriculturalists, public figures, and a list that goes on seemingly forever. As you all know, the primary obligation of a county magistrate is to serve on fiscal courts. And fiscal courts in Kentucky hold an immense amount of responsibility and power. Amongst many other duties, fiscal courts have the authority to enact ordinances, issue regulation, levy permissible taxes for the purposes of statutory obligations, appropriate funds for county roads, provide for the incarceration of prisoners, fund and hold elections, and oversee operations in the county for many public functions. The office that you all are seeking was created in our original 1792 Constitution, and it's worthy of candidates such as yourselves. In this candidate forum for 6th District Magistrate, we're honored to have Mr. Eric Whisman, Mr. Marshall Flynn, Mr. Lambert Moore, and Miss Dalaina Bean. Before we begin, I'd like to thank and recognize the Frankfort Area Chamber of Commerce for establishing this candidate forum and the Frankfort Plant Board for hosting and broadcasting this event. Serving as our esteemed panelists and those doing all the work in this function are Chair of the Chamber Government Affairs Committee and Frankfort Plant Board Communications Director, Ms. Kathy Lindsay. From Buffalo Trace Distillery, we're honored to have the Senior Plant General Manager, Mr. Mike Scott, and Frankfort Area Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Ms. Tish Shade. Candidates, you all will have 2 minutes for opening remarks, 2 minutes for closing remarks, and you will have 2-minute responses to questions. We have a timekeeper, and I would ask that all the candidates please be respectful of the clock. We had a draw prior to the forum, and opening remarks are going to begin with you, Mr. Whisman. Mr. Whisman, you have 2 minutes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us today. You know, I'm Eric Whisman. I grew up and was raised in this community in Bald Knob, and it's been the honor of my life, really, to serve the constituents of the area that I grew up in, those folks that instilled so much in me. I'm proud to now represent them over the last 39 months and up for re-election here, seeking the same office again. You know, we've done a lot in the last couple of years, and I'm excited to continue the ball rolling in this role. I took office with a lot of long languishing infrastructure, a lot of problems, a lot of projects that this community wanted to see, and I think we've made a lot of efforts, and personally have made a lot of efforts to see things done for this community, and I think we're moving in a good trajectory, and I hope to continue in this role for another 4 years. So I'd appreciate your vote on May 19th, and currently the polls are open right now for mail-in ballots for those that may not be able to get out of their homes. You can call the clerk's office and go ahead and have your ballot mailed into you, so just a good reminder. Thank you.
Ms. Flynn, 2 minutes.
Yeah, my name is Marshall Flynn. I'm born and raised here in Frankfort. I've been a realtor and appraiser for the last close to 30 years in the local and surrounding communities. I do a lot of work with lenders and courts and private individuals and corporations. My wife Susan and I, we live here, and we've got 7 children between us. And I would like the opportunity to serve as magistrate for the 6th District, as my family's been deeply rooted here in the community for the county and city we're adopted.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, 2 minutes.
My name's Lambert Moore. I was born and raised in the 6th District, lived in it most of my life. I've worked in the 6th District now, and always have loved this county and particularly the Bald Knob, Bridgeport areas. And I was the magistrate there for 20 years. Got more than 20 bridges built, got roads blacktop that never had seen blacktop before, got water to people, got sewers to Chokeville, got waters to Benson Valley and just everybody in that district now has pretty much got water. It is available to them anyway. There's just a very few that don't have it. It's because they've got a very long driveway or something, they can't get it. I really enjoyed my time on the court, working with fiscal court, building fire stations and sheriff's office, and would like to get back into that role and continue doing what I would like to do. I'm in the county every day, in the district. Thank you.
Ms. Bean, welcome. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. First, I want to say how good it feels to be sitting on this panel with such esteemed gentlemen who have served our community for so long. My name is Dalaina Bean, and while I did not grow up here in Frankfort, I'm a transplant. I have been in the 6th District for about 13 years and have worked throughout our community for about 20 plus years. I was raised in Eastern Kentucky, where my values lie. I also am the mother to 3 wonderful kiddos. I've also helped raise a plethora of nieces and nephews that have been in and out of my home, as well as a lot of students in our 6th District who lovingly call me Mama D. I will graduate with my master's in public administration in May, and look forward to putting my education behind helping my community.
Thank you all for your opening statements. Y'all done a great job so far. We're going to turn this over to our esteemed panelists here who have a few questions for you regarding our community specifically. Our first question comes from Ms. Kathy Lindsay, and that's going to be directed to you, Mr. Whisman. We'll just kind of work our way down the line and back.
Excellent. Thank you guys for being here. We think it's really important that our viewers get to hear from you guys directly. So my first question is, what is your top priority for the 6th District, and how does it connect to the broader economic health of Franklin County?
Mr. Whisman, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Kathy, you asked that question in our individual interviews, and I said at that point, it's the same as it has been for the last 4 years. So we have to get internet access to everybody in the community. Unfortunately, the court didn't support me and the plant board's request 2 years ago to expand to the entire county, so we're now back at track 1, except for about the 850 people that the plant board's working to serve, of which about 700 or so, a little under 700, are in the 6th District. So that's a great step forward. But as we're all seeing, health, telehealth, education, business opportunities, development and growth of your community is all centered around the internet. And to have a large portion of our community that doesn't have that access is unacceptable in this day and age, and we have to get that over the hurdle the next time. It looks like the only options right now that the court is discussing that I fully support is that we just have to pay for it. We have to get it done and built out. That is quite literally a quality of life item in the future. I reckon it very much to just after World War II, when the initiative was to get electricity to everybody in the United States, and we saw what that did. That opened up rural areas, that opened up economic development. Now it's the information age, it's internet connectivity. It's unacceptable that so many people in our district that we're all running to represent have to drive to the top of the hill and sit there for 3 or 4 hours to let their children do homework at night on their cell phones, or that people can't access the amenities that we all enjoy so easily because they can't get service because of the topography of our community. It makes it very difficult. There was some federal programs that we were all hopeful for that unfortunately fell short. They were changed at the last minute. We won't go into that, but digital connectivity through satellites was acceptable, and unfortunately no one bid our community, so we're having to go back to the ground running, and that's got to be the primary priority for this next term. Thank you.
Mr. Flynn, 2 minutes.
Okay. Can you repeat the question real quick? Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, repeat the question real quick.
Sure.
Okay.
What is your top priority for the 6th District, and how does it connect to the broader economic health of Franklin County?
It's a complicated question there. There's no firm answer on that. It's going to be a combination of things. I really think that we need to have like a convention event center needs to be developed. We also need to concentrate on job growth. We need to bring in other industries that are not so much government related. The problem with Frankfurt with growth patterns has always been when state government or local government grows, the community grows. We're too dependent on that, and I've been seeing for the last 10 or 15 years, we got a lot of early retirement going on. So that sometimes when people are retiring, they're not really retiring, they're going back, and it's kind of putting a block for bringing in new people to take the jobs that are being retired from. So we need to concentrate on other industries such as agricultural and some industrial. Outside of that, it's kind of difficult to see what'll come the next 4 years. So it's, based off what I've seen so far, I'm kind of concerned about some of the spending that's going on with a lot of the projects that have been taken on. So I don't know if that's going to interfere with providing services for other issues like health and mental health and just housing and some other issues that are important to the community. So,
Thank you.
okay.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, I think we need development in the county to keep our young people here. We need to build a new industrial park somewhere. We need sewer lines out US 60. We're getting them down 127 right as we speak. We need a place where people can swim in Franklin County without having to go to Woodford or Shelby County. It takes 3 to 4 hours to do that for some people. I'm hearing them say. We have in our district I think before I left, we had 6 bridges that were deficient and needed replacing. I think they've replaced 1 of those, maybe some other culverts and stuff, but they still need to be rebuilt. Jobs is a major thing here in the county, because if you're not creating jobs, your young people are going to leave. So that's about it.
Thank you.
Ms. Bean, 2 minutes.
I believe it's a combination of what all of these gentlemen have said, whether it's the industrial park, the new event center that's on the table, infrastructure-related things such as internet, roads, bridges, things that all need to be put up front and focused on. I do know that having an event space will bring a lot of industry. It will also bring jobs. Doing an industrial park space would open up jobs as well as create opportunity to add childcare in that area, to add small businesses that could help pour into our community. As Eric said, I do believe strongly that internet is our #1 thing here. Children having to go up on a hill to do their homework is a super big deal. I have children who are school age and cannot imagine driving them out after dinner to do homework because it wasn't accessible at my home. It also is at our fingertips, where we learn things that are going on in our community. So internet would probably be one of my main focuses as well.
Thank you.
Excellent. Mr. Scott, Mike, we're going to go to you for a question, and it's going to be directed to you, Mr. Flynn. You'll have 2 minutes.
Yeah, also thank you guys for being here. It's a beautiful day outside, and it's nice to be in here indoors. What role should the fiscal court play in attracting new business while also supporting existing local employers?
That's the universal question of all time. Everything that I've discussed with people in the community it's always taxes. What can we do to make things easier to bring new businesses here? And it seems to be, it's property tax. It's, the local taxes. It's something. So I think we need to become more in tune with what type of businesses we want to attract. And then at the same time, why should we give perks to new businesses? Why don't we give the same perks to our existing businesses? They're the ones that have been here for a long time, and they need to be treated just as fairly as, somebody else new coming in the community. So that's probably something that's not up to one individual to probably decide on. It's going to be more of a collective effort, I think, between fiscal court and other city commission and state government to try to decide what would be the best interest on that.
Mr. Moore, 2 minutes.
Repeat the question, please.
Yeah. What role should the fiscal court play in attracting new business while also supporting existing local employers?
Fiscal court can work with new businesses to get the incentives on their employee tax. They can go back to the company to help build their infrastructure. We did it several times when I was on court. Have an industrial park for them to come into and look and buy lots from is very important to bringing people to this county. For existing businesses, when they want to expand and bring in more people, we can do the same for them. We can work with the state to get their taxes rolled back to them, some of them, and it helps them with the infrastructure they would have to do to get the more people in here.
Ms. Bean, 2 minutes.
I believe that taxation is a huge issue there, but also taxation across the board. It needs to be uniform for those who are coming in and those who are still here. And it brings to question, how do we incentivize people coming in and still keep happy those that we have here? I think a big part of that is supporting our local businesses that are already here through a tax incentive, while offering the same tax incentive to those who are coming in.
Mr. Whisman, 2 minutes.
2 minutes for this question? We could talk all day about this. Our community's proved recently that we can move heaven and earth for large corporations that want to come to our community, but we do very little for smaller businesses. And I think our community really could find its stride by supporting small, locally owned businesses more than anything else. We've modernized at the fiscal court just this term things like business licenses and occupational tax payments and all of that kind of thing is online for the first time ever. It was so antiquated previously that was hurting business, because who is writing checks still to pay their tax bill every month? So we've done a lot of that kind of thing, and that goes a long ways. But the court could really focus and help in areas that are taxation related. I actually favor a staggered taxation system. Bowling Green is the only community in Kentucky right now that has a taxation system that actually looks to foster small mom and pop businesses and level the playing field for larger corporations where there's gross tax sales versus net sales, and some things that actually help foster and support the small businesses who in our community can start a mom and pop and compete with the dollar stores and the Walmart big boxes as a startup. If you're trying to do something similar without a different taxation structure, if you're taxing both the same, it's a no-go. But one thing I'm proud of that I'm working on right now with a few folks is rural business development. We have such an incredible landscape that we're not using. We have one, maybe two real rural businesses that focus on our land and using it, and it's being just, we're nationally renowned for those kinds of things. I think we have to focus on those areas. Hopefully in the next year, I'll be successful in bringing in some USDA funds as a revolving fund to help support small rural businesses, as well as start looking at our taxation structure. I think that one's going to be critical in the near future to keep us competitive, both locally and regionally and nationally. So.
Thank you all.
Our next question comes from Tish Shea. Tish, this will be directed towards you, Mr. Moore. You'll have 2 minutes.
Okay, so you all know that the chamber supports the businesses in our community. Regarding workforce development, what role should the county play? And then how would you collaborate with the schools, the chamber, and local employers? So kind of a two-part question.
Well, like I said before, the tax incentives to hire new people, if you've got a existing company that's got 100, if you're going to add another 75, you can give them incentives to hire those 75 more people. And we used it when I was there, and we got a lot of responses from it. And having the industrial park again, and having a place for them to go to, and having the swim play Frankfurt. If your kids don't want to grow up and raise a family here, they're going to move on somewhere else. And if they have to go somewhere that's got the amenities for young people, they're going to go. So that's something that's catamount to keeping people here and not having to go, for the companies not to have to move somewhere else to find the people they need.
Ms. Bean, 2 minutes.
Do you mind to repeat the question? Thank you.
So regarding workforce development, what role should the county play? And the second part is, how would you collaborate with the schools, the chamber, or local employers?
Workforce development is huge. It is something that should be supported by the fiscal court, and doing a collaboration with all of those mentioned would be a heightened way to get out options of workforce here in Frankfurt. You see it all the time where people say, I've applied for 1,000 jobs and nobody's bitten. How can we streamline that? Maybe by going into schools, holding job fairs, working along with you guys in doing something fun that will bring out community and offer opportunities for work. I think it's important that people know what's available and that we educate them on what we're looking for and what we need. I think a lot of that is unfortunately not out there. So get out there, get in the community, unite with those around us, and do something fun to create opportunities for Frankfurt.
Mr. Whisman, 2 minutes.
Tish, you know, I used to work for the Bluegrass Area Development for a little while during the sort of downturn in the economy in 07, 08, and so that era. And I'll admit that organization works with, you know, multiple communities. So there's an ad in every district of the state to do just this type of thing, workforce development. And I have to admit Franklin County trails behind, unfortunately. Now, I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth. I don't think so much of that is helping our large manufacturers or our large retail corporations that kind of have it figured out, right? They know what they're looking for. I think where we can help quite a lot in the court, and all of us can work together, is providing other types of training opportunities. Those small businesses that are developing, I always say that you know, someone's really good at creating or providing the product that they want to sell for their business, but all the other stuff, the taxes, the reporting, whatever marketing you want to do, all of that kind of stuff usually falls as a secondhand kind of skill set, and everyone falls short there very often. I think we can do a lot in helping hold up people in those areas by providing educational opportunities, by providing networking that you all do really well so you can learn from one another and you can collaborate. But I also think there's a lot of role. We just did an economic development study at the county that came out last year, right, last fall, that really looked hard at our schools and our educational network in this community and found a lot of things really lacking. And we have a lot of silos in this community with state, federal, local government, county government, that everybody's kind of working independently. And I think the best thing we could do that is already kind of rolling is to bring all those people together and say, what do we really need to focus on? There's the area that is some disagreement right now, and I'm one of the ones that disagrees, that I think we need, again, to focus on the smaller businesses, the homegrown things, We have a great quality of life. We have a low cost of living. We can literally be the epicenter for national corporations if we could attract small businesses or startups here. A great example is the Woolery here, right, that sells nationally but is located here. So thank you.
Mr. Flynn, 2 minutes.
Okay. I think I remember what the question was. I'll try my best to get this.
repeat it if you need me to.
Let's go for it one more time.
Okay. So regarding workforce development, what role should the county play? And then how would you collaborate with the schools, the chamber, and local employers?
Okay. First part of the question, I was thinking about this the other day. We've seen a transition probably the last 20 years of what we actually count as a job. Is it a full-time job? Is it a part-time job? Are they counted the same way when they're coming up with these statistics? Should we try to maybe explore creating more incentives for corporations and businesses that offer full-time employment as opposed to just having part-time jobs? Because a lot of the private business owners, they're getting hammered with trying to provide health insurance and other benefits, and they're usually cutting back their hours for employees to, say, 30 hours or so. And say, sorry, that's all we can do. We don't want to provide the overtime. We don't want to do that. So I think in order to get ahead with other communities, we probably need to see if there's anything that can be done with that, would be my initial thought. And as far as collaborating with the schools and what were the other two schools and the
The chamber and the
chamber,
local
we need to be
businesses?
involved. I don't know how far it needs to be involved. I'm kind of the mindset that, we let businesses grow. The chamber is very good at trying to handle that part of it from what I've seen. And I don't really think we need to be overly involved with doing it, but we do need to be involved to help create the taxes and the incentives to where the chamber can turn around and the schools can do the training, know what's coming in, and when we get additional growth here, the jobs will come, the people will come. That's it. Okay.
All right, our next question is going to come for you, Mr. Scott. Mike Scott, it's going to be directed towards you, Ms. Bean. You'll have 2 minutes.
It's a two-parter, so I'll read slow. Development growth in Franklin County is essential to economic growth. How should the county manage development while preserving quality of life? And then what's your stance on zoning changes or land use planning?
Okay. Can you repeat that one more time?
Absolutely.
Because that's a big question.
Development growth in Franklin County is essential to economic growth. How should the county manage development while preserving quality of life? And then what's your stance on zoning changes or land use planning?
I think maintaining growth while preserving quality of life should be handled in a way that we are not putting up big companies, big industrial parks, big things like that in areas where rural land is. I believe that stuff should go somewhere around the downtown area, the outskirts of Frankfurt, kind of like the Paddocks is now, where the Target is. Paying close attention to the fact that rural Kentucky likes to be where they are. And a part of that involves not having, rather, a grocery store right next to you. Rather, having somewhere like Rhett's Market where you can stop on the way in and on the way out. Hit me with that second part of the question one more time.
What's your stance on zoning changes or land use planning?
I think zoning and land use should be unified. I know city and county kind of have their own rules and regulations, and they differ from one another. I believe that is something that we could put under one umbrella and unify to create something that is a little more parallel to one another instead of opposing to one another.
All right, Mr. Whisman, coming back to you. You got 2 minutes.
Once again, a huge question, right? Our community has not yet, one thing I really want our community to do is define what economic development is. I always say there's a lot of ways to build a local economy, right? Georgetown has done that with major manufacturing plants. Lexington has done that with a university. Frankfort's identity has always been state government, and we can't rely on that anymore, unfortunately. The state is hiring more temps and not giving benefits, all in a way to cut costs and to do away with state income taxes. I don't think we're going to see that come back as a major economic player and employer in this community in their lifetimes, more than likely. So we have to diversify. But what does that mean? You know, this community only has about 9,000 acres of prime farmland. Do we want to develop that now, not knowing what our kids need in the future, and give away our agricultural base? Or do we want to lean into agriculture and bourbon production that's, you know, driving our tourism economy? There's a lot of questions about that right now. We did an economic development study that, unfortunately, I was disappointed didn't quite get into those factors so much. It gave some recommendations about where we should potentially lean into, and I liked some of that, but it didn't answer enough for me, and I really want the community to have a conversation about that. But you know, I've worked in historic preservation all across the state, and I work in communities regularly that do not have planning and zoning, and it is anything goes. And I think we're seeing right now the backlash all across our state about data centers and massive electricity usage facilities that are going to increase the cost of living to everyone that lives near those things, and they get no say in what happens in that community because they don't have a planning and zoning department. Our community does. We're good to have it. But I have to remind everyone all the time that planning and zoning is regulated and developed through our comprehensive plan, which is the voice of our citizens. And that comp plan is really a contract between the citizens and our local elected officials to develop the community in the way that we all see it. So hopefully we'll hold true to this newest comp plan that's been adopted and use that as a template for our future.
Mr. Flynn, 2 minutes.
I want to go ahead and ask for you to repeat that question, the first part.
Absolutely. Development growth in Franklin County is essential to economic growth. How should the county manage development while preserving quality of life? And what's your stance on zoning changes or land use planning?
Another difficult question. I don't know if we could get 2 minutes to do that. So the first part, what can we do? We need to talk with the private ownership, because as Eric indicated about the 9,000 acre, more or less, I mean, a lot of this property is privately owned. You don't know what the owners want to do with it. And it's hard, you know, it kind of carries over right into the planning and zoning and comp plan and land usage. I really think there's a big disconnect between zoning and land use. Zoning has already been adopted here back in the 1980s, and it's been specific, and both the county and the city follow those regulations. Now, when you go to comprehensive plan, that seems to kind of, that's where things kind of get lost. They'll turn around and we'll have an area, like I always want to say 127 South. That area is dominantly commercial along the arterial ways. The most recent comprehensive plan has turned around and said we want all this to be industrial use now, with little justification on it, little difference, because the existing uses right there, it's going to be 50 years before those properties might even change. And it doesn't help either when you have something like Target and all the extra commercial incentives right there. It's going to be dominantly used that way. So you have to kind of let the market tell you what's best to be used there. Now, if we carry over to the new industrial park that's being created, the one thing I had a developer indicate to me was there's no rail service there. So how are you going to do high-end industrial development without the rail service and getting certain kind of trades there? That's a good question. I don't know. And then the other question becomes is what's the working agreement that's going on between us and Anderson County? I'm probably going to run out of time, and I can touch on that another.
Mr. Moore, 2 minutes.
Well, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but industrial park is very important to what he's asking. And Franklin County doesn't have all the land like Shelby County and Scott County. They're twice the size of Franklin County. People don't realize that. You're not going to commercialize Ball Knob. You can't get sewers out there. It's just not going to happen. You've got US 60 and you've got 127 South. That's pretty much it. our industrial parks are overcrowded now and full. And we've got to have a place for new companies to come in here. And what was the second part of your question? Oh, the planning and zoning? Yeah. Zone changes is on a case-by-case basis, so it's really hard to comment on zone changes without, a specific one. But you don't want, we're going to have infill. If there's, spots in town that are vacant that we can move a small industry to, we need to do it because Franklin County's running out of space.
All right, our next question is going to come from Kathy Lindsay. We'll start back at the top with you, Mr. Whisman. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. I'll ask an age-old question. Is it time for a merger of governments, or are there specific areas that could be combined? And if it's not time for a merger, how will you work with the city government to make things more efficient and to build relationships?
Well, I'm glad you didn't ask whether we'll vote yes or no on a merger, because we don't get to control that, right? I've said before,
Yeah.
the question of whether a merger happens is ultimately up to the citizens of the community, and it will be voted on up or down, and it's been voted down twice in this community. I don't anymore favor a merger because I'm concerned about, after the perspective of representing the 6th district, and a third of this county's land mass is in our district that we're all running for. The rural parts of our community don't get the services they should already, that they're paying taxes for, equally as the downtown. And a merger, in my mind, knowing how local government works in this community and how it's worked for a very long time, I would see services being cut even further from the rural part of our community, where arguably they need more than what they're getting, or what some downtown maybe residents are getting. So with that said, I think there's a lot of things we can do to cut the fat, if you will, and to do things. One thing that I'm bringing up right now, I'm talking to the city commission immediately. We've all heard the city's talking about going to privatize trash. The county has that. I won't get into it, but I am not in favor of the system we have currently. And I think we can merge services and do something that's going to be proactive, actually probably bring revenues into this community if we did it the right way, and be on the forefront of dealing with what is a major cost and a major problem nationally. Trash is, almost $3 million of the county's budget every year, in the future looking to be even more. It's our largest line item singularly. So that said, there's a lot of other things we can do to work together. We already are. We've merged together to explore a pool facility, because we know we have to work together to do some of these quality of life amenities that the community wants. So there's a lot more that we can do to work together. Unfortunately, feelings are as they are between some members, and having served on both, I have a unique perspective, I think, that I'm hopeful still yet to bring everybody to the table to see some benefits for our community. So,
Mr.
thank
Flynn,
you.
2 minutes.
Okay. Let's go for a repeat, please.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is it time for a merger of city and county government? And if not, what actions can be taken to make processes and services more efficient?
The big answer to that is it's probably not going to happen, but our existing fiscal court has adopted a strategic plan for growth for our community. And on there, it was adopted, it was endorsed by the county and the city. And they've both said that is going to be something that's looked at in this next term. And when it's looked at, it's up to fiscal court to decide now. It used to be that the grassroots efforts that were done by the community to put issues like this on a ballot, it was approved, then it would go to fiscal court. What's the point if it's going to go straight to fiscal court and they're going to pay to have a study done and figure out if it's feasible or not? Then we'll get the public to comments and so forth. The main part of this that Eric touched on was the rural areas, they want to be protected. They don't want to be drawn into paying taxes for services that they're not going to be receiving as a general fund. So we need to look at exploring going to services-based tax incentives for property taxes, and say, hey, if you got storm sewers and sewers, you get this amount. If you're just getting roads and fire service, you should be at this amount. So it's ultimately, I think the community would be against it, but everything that I've seen, it's going to be brought up as far as this strategic plan of growth for our community. And when it's brought up, we need to be able to, I want to be involved with trying to protect that for the rural areas.
Thank you.
Mr. Moore, 2 minutes.
I would say absolutely no, it's not time. When I was on the court, we interviewed a guy from Lexington for a job, and he was over the sanitation in Lexington. And he explained to us that people, the further out you live, the more you paid for your trash pickup. And I would not be for that at all. We can work with the city as we've done for years. It can be improved on. The pool is one thing. But the next time we go into a pool, the county has to have more say than they did when they built Juniper Hills. We put money into that, and we were supposed to have got a covered swimming pool that could be used year-round, and the county paid for that, and it never happened. It went to something else. But, so you don't want to go into anything blindly like that, like we did back then. And what was the second part of your question?
What are some actions that can be taken to make the processes and services more efficient?
Yeah, we've done that already in the county. The inspectors are doing both now, I think, and the county taxes, your employment taxes are put into a pot, and if a new company comes in, it goes 50-50 to the county and to the city, and depending on where it is. The county's taxes are cheaper than the city, so people, prospective companies would rather locate in the county.
Thank you. Hey.
That's okay.
True, yeah.
Ms. Bean, 2 minutes.
I actually am working on my capstone project for my master's. It's the final paper you do on combining city and county government here in Frankfort and the feasibility there. What I have found, while it is not complete, what I have found is that, yes, we could streamline these services if we were a combined government. On the flip side of that, you will probably, because of Frankfort's size, relative to county and city governments that have merged in Kentucky, we would not see a lot of fiscal growth. We would see a lot of administrative confusion as things would come down, and it would take time to put new things into place. New ways of working into place for city and county to combine HR, combine all of the moving parts that involve both city and county. Again, you look at the rural part of our district who does not already receive some of the benefits of living closer to town. While it could help that area, it could also hurt that area, as they may not receive as many benefits if city and county both combine. So because of Frankfort's size, I would have to say I don't think we would see much fiscal growth. I don't think we would see a lot of administrative happiness, and I think our community just doesn't need that.
All right, our next question is going to come from you, Ms. Tish Shade. It's going to be directed to you, Mr. Flynn. You'll have 2 minutes.
Okay, so you guys have all talked about how important the rural infrastructure is and how critical it is. So how would you prioritize road maintenance and improvements in the 6th district? And then how would you balance those needs against the limited resources that the county already has?
Well, not being on fiscal court, it's hard to see what discretionary funds could be used to do that as opposed to some of the other areas that may also need improvements throughout the county. So as of today, yeah, I think the 6th district's kind of picked up on some of the bridges and so forth that has been out there. I don't know how some of the other areas are. They might be in more need. So I think it's going to have to just be a discussion year to year and come up with a priority plan of certain areas after doing an inventory on it.
Mr. Moore, 2 minutes.
Repeat the question.
Sure. How would you prioritize road maintenance and improvements in the 6th district? And then how would you balance those needs against the limited county resources?
Road maintenance is probably one of that trash pickup is number one in the county. That affects everyone. And the Franklin County Road Department is one of the best in the country, I think, in the state. They have limited resources, but they use them well, and they have very well maintained and up to date equipment. And the roads in the Franklin County roads are in good shape. It's the state roads that are so bad, Flat Creek and it's going to be paved by the end of this fiscal year, so that'd be great. But what was the second part?
How would you balance those needs against limited county resources?
I mean, they just get the money they get pretty much, but salt's a big thing, and it those prices go up every year. They need to use that sparingly, not salt the roads the day before we get a snow, because sometimes it doesn't snow and they salted the roads. But just use it wisely, and I think it'll work out.
Okay,
All right, Ms. Bean.
Tish, can you hit me with a repeat,
Sure.
please?
no worries. Rural infrastructure is critical. How would you prioritize road maintenance and improvements in the 6th district? And then how would you balance those needs against the limited county resources?
I'll have to agree with both Marshall and Lambert here. Marshall in saying that it is hard to kind of know what resources are available for our district without being directly on the court. It is important to recognize that we represent only a portion of the court and the money that they allot. And if our roadways don't deem necessary or most important, we're probably not going to get those funds. I know, and I'll give Mr. Whisman this one, he's done really well in making sure to mitigate the areas of the country that have seen big trucks and things like that coming through who have no business going that way. I think that it is always important to focus on roadways to make sure they're safe for our community. The fiscal court, unfortunately, can only do so much for one district.
Mr. Whisman.
Yeah. We sit there. This was my biggest item coming into this term, and I have worked tirelessly and used every literal connection I possibly can to see investment in the 6th district, because roads hadn't been paved since I was a small child, mostly state roads. County roads have been maintained fairly well. The county does a pretty good job at maintaining our roads, but it's the larger infrastructure that's costly that we don't have the funds to do. Bridge replacement, Lambert did a lot of those. The state, thankfully, and I've been working even 2 years before I got elected to get things in road plans, has paved almost every state road in the 6th district, and will have likely finished all of those by spring of next year. Over $14 million invested in the 6th district alone. 2 bridges replaced, 1 county bridge replaced, almost $1 million in county investment, including $168,000 that I got directly from the governor's office to pave one of our county roads that was quite literally turning to gravel. So it has been a tumultuous, difficult, ardent journey to get this 6th district paved and repaired this time. And the big thing in the room that no one ever talks about is the size of our districts. There's over 300 miles of roads in the 6th district. If you move to the 5th district, right next door, for example, it's only about 50. Same generally for about the 4th district. The 2 large districts that include the northern part of our county are vast, and they're often overlooked because they're not in the core. They're not that traveled, except for the people that live there, of course. So getting investment in those is just as critical as anywhere else. We have to maintain that infrastructure. Unfortunately, every foot that we pave and build out more than we have already costs exponentially more than the last that we did. So we have to be smart about where we spend our dollars and where we expand in the future, where there's already services, utilities, and things that we can maintain. The county at current could never pave our entire county again if we had a natural disaster. Thankfully, there's some state programs, including several million that were just put into the budget at the state just a couple of days ago that are going to help us replace some bridges too. So,
All right, this will be our last question.
Yes.
It's going to come from Kathy Lindsay. It's going to be directed to you, Mr. Moore. You'll have 2 minutes.
Okay. So this last question is kind of leading up to your closing. I think Dalaina mentioned that in this position, you are representing just a portion of our county, the constituents in our county. So my question to you is, what is it about you? Why should the voters trust you in the 6th district to represent their best interests? And is there something about you that sets you apart from your opponents here at the table?
Well, I get along with people. I don't have big arguments with them. If we disagree, we'll just agree to disagree. And I get my way a lot, though. But I'm out in the county every day, out in the district every day. I drive a county school bus, and that's 100 miles a day on the state and county roads. I'm out there digging basements and building roads and in the district every day. I'm out there. I live out there. I travel the roads when I'm not going out Devil's Hollow, the road I live on. I'm on Flat Creek. I'm on Harvey Land. I'm on, but St. John's. I work out there doing farm work and stuff. So I'm out there with the people. I see the problems, and even today I called in a problem I saw. It's just I'm easily gotten a hold of because people know me and they see me out there, and I take care of problems as soon as they arise.
Thank you.
Ms. Bean, 2 minutes.
Repeat for me.
Yeah, sure. Why should the voters in the 6th district trust you to represent their best interests, and what sets you apart from the other candidates?
Because I am them. I have been one paycheck away from being homeless. I have not eaten to make sure my kids eat. I have clawed and grown and come from the bottom to make myself what and who I am today. I love to communicate and listen and learn. Knowledge is power, and I think that if you're not willing to learn and grow, you don't belong in a level of leadership. I look forward to meeting people where they are, understanding the things that they love about our community and the things that they need help with. Look forward to advocating for my district, just like the people of the 6th district advocated for me when I needed it the most. I am them, and look forward to meeting them where they are and helping lift our district up.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Whisman, 2 minutes.
Kathy, you accurately say that we're elected by, a portion of the county. It's about 6,500 persons per district. but ultimately we represent everyone, and the decisions that the majority makes represents everybody. So I think it's important to be mindful and cognizant of our impact, and I am every day. I've said many times, this district is so vast and so varied in its type of people. We have Kentucky State University and all those students. We have the billionaires of our community, and I have people literally that are just trying to scrape together an existence every day. And in every decision I make, I am mindful of it, and on the court I often play devil's advocate just to make sure that we're answering the questions we need to make sure that we're representing all varieties of people best. I'm always bringing up a counterpoint, not because I believe that counterpoint maybe, but because I'm asking the question, are we doing what we need to for everybody? Every week, not always because I want to, it's partially to do with our trash contractor. I end up driving our district almost every week, and like I said, it's 300 miles. I make a point to touch every road in the district every month. And I've made it a real point to make sure that I communicate, whatever platform it may be. I have 7 or 8 different platforms that people are communicating with me regularly throughout our district, but I want them to be informed. I want them to know what's happening ahead of time, and I want to be truly representative of their voice in what's happening. So I listen and I try to communicate before I take action, and I try to call the folks that I know have perspective on whatever issue may be, so that I'm fully versed in every decision we make. So, we are public figures, and yet we're citizens of the district as well. We're citizens of our own community. And I said in an interview with you, we are going to be in each other's lives, probably the majority of us, our entire existence. So taking care of one another, being there when we need each other, being truthful with one another, I think that's what it's all about, and that's what a good representative should be.
Thank you.
Mr. Flynn, 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm just going to say, I think my family, being here before the city and the county were created, and being here that many generations, I feel like I've got a better understanding of how the community works. Working in the real estate and appraising field, I work a lot with lenders and businesses and builders, and I think I can relate to the issues that come before us. And I know enough people here in town that I think we can find the right answers for whatever issues that may come at us. I also think that just having the heritage here, and I know where every part of the county is. There's not any place I have not been, and I just think that really makes me the stronger candidate here, because I can relate to the issues, and I know the area, and I know what's expected.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank
That's
you.
it.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time for questions. We're going to go to closing statements now. Ms. Bean, we're going to work our way back down. Since we ended with you, we're going to start with you for closing statements.
I appreciate
You
that.
have 2 minutes, ma'am.
My name is Dalaina Bean, and I'm looking forward to earning your vote as we enter into this primary. I'm available for questions. You can reach me through my Facebook page, Dalaina Bean for Magistrate. And I look forward to earning your vote and serving our community in the future.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, 2 minutes.
Okay, I didn't expect you to go backwards. That's fine. My name's Lambert Moore. I've lived in this community all my life. My family's been here since the late 1700s. I'm out in the community every day. I have great contacts with the state, the city, and even federal government. I'm out there where you can reach me. People see me on the street and they tell me their problems, and they can call my cell phones, 502-803-1822. If this new iPhone will let you call, it's not my choice, but it screens everybody now. So if that's okay, you leave a message and I'll get back to you. But I'm out there every day. I know the job. I know the problems before I get calls a lot of times, because I'm out there. I see them, and I know who to call. And I work well with fiscal court. I I work well with the city commission, always did. And if I don't get to your house, I would appreciate your vote to put me through to working for you. Thank you.
2 minutes.
Okay. So my name is Marshall Flynn. I'm running for magistrate for the 6th District, and I'm looking forward to having your vote. You can reach me at flynnmagistrate.com, or you can reach me on my phone, 502-330-1599. I want to listen to your concerns. I feel like I'm the most effective candidate, and look forward to your vote on May 19th.
Mr. Whisman? 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you all for having this, and I want to commend everybody for putting your name in to run. It's not an easy task. It's expensive. It's time-consuming. And like I said several times, Kathy, in our interview, you learn a perspective about community that you won't get any other way. So I always encourage people to run no matter what. It's good civics, and we should have people running for every seat. I'm disappointed that the only 6th district is the one challenge this time. I wish we had more candidates in all these seats. But I'm Eric Whisman. I'm your current magistrate for the last 39 months. It's been a whirlwind, and I'm very proud of the amount of work that we've got done and the impact that we're having on the citizens of our community. I think we have so much opportunity in this community. I'm not over-exaggerating in what I believe is the possible for this town and this county. I have a vision of where we can be. You know, so many communities we're compared to all the time, whether that's Asheville or Nashville or Pigeon Forge or Lexington or Georgetown. And I think we suffer a little bit from that envy, and we don't realize how much potential and how much opportunity we have here already. You know, there's always doom and gloom that's said, but if you look at the stats, we're actually doing pretty well. We're 19th in the state for growth per the last census right now. You know, that's pretty big in my mind out of 120 counties. So we're not doing so bad. We can do a lot better, and I'm proud to lead maybe the future. You know, growing up here, I grew up fairly poor in Bald Knob, and I'm proud to now come to the point that I can represent the community, and I'm thankful for mentors that I had. One mentor always told me, you know, never underestimate the impact that one person can have. If you look throughout history, all the great leadership roles and the movements were usually one figure, so I've always taken that to heart. So I hope I can gain your vote for re-election to get in another 4 years and see how much more we can do. You can reach me, website, Facebook, Instagram, just about anywhere, and you can call me, 502-320-9735. I'd appreciate your vote.
As we close, I would like to personally thank all of these candidates for seeking this office. You've put your name on the ballot, spent your own time and money, skipped on family events, only to serve your community, and I want you to know it's appreciated. Thank you all. If you follow the news or the legislative process, you will know there are election law changes every year now in Kentucky, and there are multiple ways for you to cast your ballot in this election, a few of which include mail-in absentee ballot, in-person early voting before Election Day, which is May 14, 15, and 16, 2026, 3 locations in Franklin County, and in-person Election Day voting on May 19th, 2026, 12 locations in Franklin County, and you can show up at any polling place and vote. If you don't know where or how to vote, I would encourage you to call our county clerk's office at 502-875-8702, or you can check out their website. It's loaded with current election information. I sincerely hope that you honor our servicemen, women, veterans, and exercise your right to vote. I'd like to remind everyone of the FPB election night coverage, which will be held live from the Franklin County Clerk's office at 6 p.m. on May 19th. I hope you can tune in for up-to-date results. It's been an honor to serve as the host for this event, and I'd like to thank these candidates, the FPB staff, volunteers, Chamber Board, Leadership Frankfurt, and most importantly, all the folks that aren't on camera for making this event possible. This concludes our forum. Thank you for joining us.